If you wear a t-shirt like this, you turn into a potato. And nobody wants to be a potato. So I'm gonna show you what I do to the t-shirts to make them look a little bit cuter. It's very super easy. It only takes about 10 minutes and it looks so much better. Let me show you. Usually when you get some type of merch or a promo kind of top, you get to tell them what size you want. And so instead of asking for like an XL, I'll ask for like a 2X, or I found a 3X is just a little bit too far to work with. You definitely have to really be taking it apart at a 3X, and then the neck kind of gets a little distorted as well for a smaller size. That's usually what I choose there, but let's crack into it. So the first thing you need to do is mark where the high natural waist is. Remember, this is more for a short-waisted or curvy girl. So you can still be long-waisted and curvy, but I'm gonna speak specifically to that situation and just know that it does transfer very well for long-waisted people as well. But you're gonna find the smallest part of the torso that is not just where your waist of your jeans or skirt hit, okay? A lot of times that's worn below the natural waist with trends the way they are right now. Unless if you've got like a high-rise pant. We're still like low and mid right now. And we're starting to see some high-rise, but even those, a lot of them are not coming to the full natural waist. So find the smallest part of your waist and go ahead and make a few marks so that you can find this later when it's flat. And same thing for the back. Come in and find where the smallest part is. And you don't have to be incredibly precise about it. It's gonna make a little more sense when you lay it out flat on the cutting table. So on the table, you can see how it's a little bit crooked, and that's just fine. What we're gonna look at is from the underarm to about the mark is, you can look here on the table, it's a little less than 3 inches. It's about 2.5 inches. So you need a little bit of seam allowance. So I'd say mark at the 3, okay? And the same thing over here. We're gonna mark about 3 inches down. Then we're gonna take our ruler and come across and really draw a line. That way you're not gonna be distracted by all the other dashes that you did. So this is the line that we're gonna go by now, not all the other little dashes that go a little above or below. We're not worried about those. And then same thing here. You can see it's a little shorter in the back than it is in the front. That's a tipped waist. We see that a lot actually. So you can tip it up where it comes up even higher in the back. That is a very cute look if you want to do that. Or you can also just drop down the 3 inches and say, well, it's close enough. It may be just close enough. So let's just go ahead and do that and see how that'll look. I think it'll be just fine. So let's say 3 and 3, and let's draw that line. If this were just me not doing a tutorial, I would go ahead and swing it up, honestly. I just think it looks a lot better, but I want to do this the most simple way that's still going to look really cool for you guys. So that's why I'm doing it at that point. You do you, boo. All right, so now it's going to be time to cut it out. So if you choose the same line, both sides, you can cut through it just stacked together like this if you want. If you can get it to lay perfectly still. If you want to be really safe, you can just cut the top layer and then work your way all the way around the circle. That's probably a little safer, honestly, if you think about how knits in particular can kind of rumple up on you a little bit, get a little bit bumpy. You don't want to accidentally put a little extra cut in there somewhere and ruin your shirt. So what we want to do is have a much shorter shirt, but that has a lot better shape to it. So I'm going to show you how you're going to get that. I know some people are really fans of keeping this edge here. It's called a cover stitch. It's got the 2 lines of stitches on the outside of it, and then it's got kind of this little scribbly, zigzag, sergy looking stitch on the inside that covers that raw edge. It's called a cover stitch. It's used to hem knit garments because it's got a good stretch to it. And a lot of people don't privately own a cover stitch machine, and so they're afraid of getting rid of this. I've honestly never really had a problem with it. I do have a cover stitch machine. They're a pain to work with, let me tell you. But anyways, you can really just go ahead and cut this off and have your raw edge, and you can just roll it under one roll and sew it and press it, and it's gonna be just fine because the hem of this top is no longer going to be tight on a person. It's gonna have a little bit of flounce to it. So you're gonna be just fine to just roll this under one roll and stitch it. It won't fray or anything. So we're gonna get rid of that. Now keep in mind, we are shortening this t-shirt. So if you do have a long torso, you're probably gonna want to layer with it. And let it just be a little bit shorter, kind of like a baby doll look maybe. And then if you're average to shorter waist, it's just gonna have this really cool peplum look to it. Gonna be super flattering, but it's gonna be much shorter than this. That's the other reason why I like to get a 2X. As these t-shirts go up in size, they do get quite a bit longer. So it just gives us so much fabric to work with. What's so interesting too with t-shirt fabrics, it's knit on the round. Look at this, there's no seams going down it. That's so interesting, isn't it? Because you do have some underarm seams in the sleeve. And you have some seams on the top of the shoulder. But yeah, no side seams on this to speak of, which is really kind of cool. Another interesting thing about this t-shirt is I cut right along the edge of that hem, and you can see this is kind of the shape here of the back, and then look at the front, how it dipped down. I kept having a problem with the shirt kind of poking out in the front, and that's really what that was from. The hem edge of the shirt was quite crooked. So I'm just gonna go ahead and correct that. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold it this way in half, okay? And I'm gonna put a little creasy mark with my hands. This is how easy knit is to work with. Don't be afraid of knits. Look at that, how it put a little mark in there. That's our halfway line. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut there. And we need to be able to join these together. So we're gonna go ahead and open this on one end, each of these. You can open it on both if you want, but then you're gonna end up with a lot of seams. So just open it on one end and take note of what the outside of the fabric is versus the inside. And we wanna do right sides together, making sure both of them are up and down, so they're running the same way. And we're gonna go sew this together, okay? Make sure you use a ballpoint needle. That's hopefully gonna keep you from skipping stitches too badly, because knits are kind of known for that. Don't worry about if your ends don't perfectly line up. We're gonna correct all that later. You'll learn that about me. A lot of times I say, don't worry about this, don't worry about that. You want to enjoy sewing, and part of it is to know what really, really matters and what doesn't. So that way you don't have to stress over the things that aren't going to matter. Some things do really matter. So I'll let you know. Now that we've got this sewn together, I'm gonna put the ends of this together like this and fold it. This is helping me find the center of both of these pieces. And I'm just putting these little notches in there so I know what that halfway point is. Now we're going to take it again and put those notches in that roll lined up with that seam, and now we've got quarter points that we can mark. And instead of doing those little triangular notches, I'm just going to do little straight snips. That's going to mark the quarter points. So here's just the little slits that I put in it, and here's the notches. Now we're going to take our t-shirt and do the same thing, okay? Here's our sides right underneath the armpits of the shirt. We're going to snip those. Same thing, let's find the center point by holding on to that and stretching this fold. And then we're going to do it one more time. We're going to take that fold and line it up with the underarms. Alright, so I'm going to take the seam parts and line them up at the underarm snips. And this is the outside of the shirt, the underarm snip, the outside. And I'm going to lay, this is what we mean by right sides together. This seam here, I'll lay it right to that notch. So you've got your open seam facing up. And this is the inside of the shirt. Open seam. That way when you flip it, you've got your right sides together, okay? The outsides is what that means. And I'm going to put a pin in there. Now I'm going to go over to the other side and make sure I don't flip my tube. If I flip my tube of fabric, I'm in trouble. I'm going to find the underarm again. You see that? That notch. The seam. And I'm going to attach them together. Now we've got to do it again and again. Okay, so we're going to find that center snip, and we're going to find the center V that we did, and we're going to put them together. And then again, we're going to find our little snip here and attach it to our other snip. And we're going to work our way around the shirt doing that. Now that you've got this pinned basically 8 times all the way around, you can also pull to find the next middle. Pull this and then pull this an even amount, put them together. And you can do that all the way around as well. This is how you're gonna work in very even tucks and gathers without actually having to use a gathering attachment or measuring at all. You can see I haven't measured, but it's going to be close enough. Now we're going to sew all the way around, and I'll leave the puffy parts up. I'll do the flatter top part of the shirt facing down. I'm gonna start at one of these side seams. And this is how you're gonna manage that extra fabric. You're just going to somewhat evenly distribute it and flatten them out as you sew. No need to make a big deal out of it and make it perfect. If you get too perfect with it, the eye is going to expect it all to be perfect. So you just want it to be, you know, slightly varying in how you gather it. But it's going to be generally even amounts because of the way we pinned it. All right, so now that we've finished going around, we're going to roll this hem under and just do a single stitch all the way around the hem of the shirt. Easy peasy, okay? We're gonna start again at the side seam. I find that works best to be able to figure out which way is up or down. I'm sewing on the inside of the shirt. This is the outside. This is the inside of the shirt facing up because I see the seam.
While I hop up and adjust this camera angle for you so it's a little bit better, I did want to mention to you that you can go to bridalsewing.com and get a free hem identification guide. This is kind of like a photographic, it's full color, it's beautiful, catalog that I made of some of the most commonly found formal wear, bridal types of hems that I come across being in this business. And so the idea is you look up the hem and it'll tell you the name of it. So you can look up a tutorial so you can hem it. I just thought that would be handy for you. So yeah, it's free at bridalsewing.com.
I like to stitch kind of close to the edge to prevent it from rolling as much as possible. And most of your machines are going to have a guide right here. So if you're not familiar with doing a hem kind of an even amount, you can always lean on those guides, follow that line. Now, this next step is a personal preference. I don't like super slouchy shoulders. So you can let these kind of drop off and just have like a little bit of like a baggy crop top look to this if you want. Or you can also put little tucks in the shoulder. To bring up that arm a little bit. And if you sew just straight down here, they fall out in little pleats. It's actually really pretty cute. So let me just show you what that'll look like. So take your ruler and go 2 out from the neckline and mark it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks, okay? So you're not marking the number 1 because we want to come out a couple inches. So what you're gonna do is you're going to line up this pink with this pink and push it toward the sleeve. And you're gonna just stitch this down flat. So you're aligning this seam. Definitely lock that stitch. And it should hit about the next pink line, all right? So skip that next pink line and just do the pink to the pink again. Clear everything out underneath so you don't accidentally sew through the neckline there. Come on across, following that seam line, back and forth again. All right, now I know this is going to like curdle your milk. I know a lot of people don't iron t-shirts, but it's gonna look so much better if we just go over to the iron real quick. I promise, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna show you how you can kind of steam it and iron it, and it's gonna make a big difference, okay? Let's go do that real quick, and then we'll put her on the dress form and you'll be able to see how she'll look. See, she's not scary. You can see this real baby doll shape starting to take shape here. Obviously, this is what we're gonna go after. See how bumpy the hem looks? You can actually press and iron and steam t-shirts, believe it or not. Now, if you don't want so much swing, so much baby doll going on, you can very easily come in from the inside and sew this up tighter, sew this up tighter. Right here, bring in those side seams before you put all this on. But this is gonna be nice and short, and I'm gonna do layering with this. So I like a baby doll top with kind of a drop shirt under it and maybe like a pencil skirt or something a little more fitted at the bottom. So it just depends on how you style it. But let's steam it real quick, okay? I'm just giving this little ruffle part a downward pull so that all of the wrinkles are vertical. Now I'm gonna press the hem edge of the shirt. Again, I'm gonna start at a side seam here. That way, once you go over a side seam twice, you know you're done. See how neat that is? Wow. Look at the difference, guys. Okay, so this is without it pressed. That's with it pressed. Impressive. When I wash it, all of these marks will come out. I'm not worried about those. Those are just temporary.